Good day, everyone. So, for this week, we shall be having what we call the polynomial equations. So, we will be solving for polynomial equations, or in some books, they call it finding the zeros. Because eventually, you're equating the equation by zero, and then you will be looking for the value of x for that particular equation. So, basic lang muna tayo, okay? So, ideally, ganito yan. For example, number 1, let's have this equation. So, x minus 5 is equal to 0. Now, if you will notice here, this particular equation, the equation is linear in nature because the degree of your polynomial equation is 1. So, we're looking right now for only one value of x here, or we only have 1 0 for this one. Okay, so equating for x, so you will just transpose -5 to the other side, or yung iba kasi hindi raw mathematical yung transposition, no? So, okay, ang gawin na lang natin, sige, let's add both sides by 5. Yun kasi yung konsepto nun, okay? Yan. So, adding both sides by 5, so x here, so your x minus 5 here becomes x only. And then yun nga, so 0 plus 5, your x is equal to 5. And that is now your 0. Yan, so x is equal to 5. Ganon. Yan, ganun lang siya. Ganun lang siya kadali. Okay, so let's proceed to the next example. Yan, gawin na natin to. Okay. Let's have number 2 here. Okay, so let's have this particular equation here for number 2. Okay. So let's have this. So x plus 2, yung basic lang muna tayo, okay? Times sa quantity x minus 1 is equal to 0. Now, if you will notice right here, for this particular equation, by the way, this is still polynomial in nature, okay? It's just that when you do the FOIL method here, the degree of your equation here is 2. So, meaning, we're looking right now for two values of x, or we are looking for two zeros. So, dalawa ang zeros dito. So, of course, we will no longer do the FOIL method here. Hindi na natin siya ipa-FOIL method. So, the idea here is that you have your two factors here already separate. You will just be separating them and you will equate it by 0. Kaya nga tinawag siyang zeros, yung value ng x dito. So, x plus 2 would be equal to 0. And for the other one, x minus 1 is equal to 0. And then you will just look for the value of x here. So, for the first one, so x here is equal to -2. And here, your x here is equal to 1. Therefore, you can conclude that your zeros here, or your x, would be equal to -2 and 1. So, pwede magkabaliktad ito. Yan. So, there are two values of x here. Yan. So, ideally, ganyan lang ang approach niya. Okay. Now, example number 3. Okay. Medyo mabilis ang pacing ng ating lesson kasi nga kung marunong ka nung ayan, kanya equate lang naman yan. Okay, yeah, let's have number 3 this time. Okay, let's have this particular example here. X minus 7 times the quantity x minus 2 times the quantity 3x plus 2 is equal to 0. Okay, now for this case we have three factors for this equation. So obviously the degree here of this equation is 3. So there would be three values of x here, or there would be three zeros. So the first one would be x minus 7 is equal to 0. The second one would be x minus 2 is equal to 0. And the third one would be 3x plus 2 is equal to 0. Solving for the value of x here is equal to 7. X is equal to 2. And lastly, okay, ito medyo lang to. Kasi nga, it becomes, so 3x is equal to -2. Transposing 2 to the other side, it becomes negative. And then lastly, dividing both sides by 3, since we do not need the factor 3 here, so we need to cancel this out. So x is equal to -2/3. Yeah, dividing both sides by 3. Therefore, the values of 0 for this particular polynomial equation is 7, 2, and negative 2 thirds. So, tatlo, ibig sabihin, ang value ng zeros mo for this particular equation. So, yun yung idea. Okay? Now, let me just erase this again. Alright. Yan. Ayusin lang natin. Baka kumalas ulit eh. Okay. Okay. And ayusin ulit natin to. Okay. Yan. Okay. Let's have this particular example here. Ano natin to? Let's have number 4. Okay. Let's have this equation here. So, x squared minus 9x plus 20 is equal to 0. Okay. Now, for this particular equation, obviously, this is a quadratic equation because the degree is 2. And since this is quadratic in nature, it means that we're solving right now for 2 zeros. Yan. Kung mapapansin nyo, inaral nyo na to noong grade 9. Tama? Yan. Okay. So, meaning, there would be 2 zeros. So, ano nang gagawin mo dito? Yan. So, you need to find the factors of this quadratic expression on the left side, x squared minus 9x plus 20. So, ito, inaral nyo na to nung grade 7 kayo. So, yeah, there would be 2 factors. So, that would be x. And then you will be thinking of the factors of 20 that when you add, the total would be 9, which is on the the middle term here. So, obviously, that is 4 and 5. So, okay. So, since it is in negative in form, yung gitna, so both would be in negative form. So, your factors would be x minus 4 and x minus 5. Pwede ba magkabaliktad yan? Wala namang kaso yun. Kasi multiplication naman siya. Kahit magkapalit ang factors, walang problema. Minus 5, minus 4. O walang kaso yun. So, then, obviously, for here, yan, solving for zeros, parang gagawin, parang kukunin mo lang yung ano. Yan, so, x here is equal to 5 and 4. Obviously, solving for x here, yan, x minus 5 equals, so obviously here, so x minus 5 is equal to 0, and here is x minus 4 is equal to 0, doing it separately, and then solving for x, ito na yon. So, x is equal to 5 and 4. Oh, yun na yun. Tadang! Tapos na. Yan. Ang checking yan, actually, hindi ko na pinakita ha. Ang checking yan, you will simply substitute the value of x with your given equation, and then it must be equal to 0, obviously, kasi nga, yun yung idea, okay? Finding the 0. And what value of x will this become 0? Yung ganun yung idea niya. Ano yung magiging value ng x to make this true? And then, since you equate it with 0, you call now the solution as zeros. Yan. So, linear, isa lang syempre. For this one, since it is quadratic, so the solution is, or the zeros are quadratic. Or dalawa ang zeros niya. Kasi nga, ang degree ay 2. Okay, let's have number 5 here. Let me just erase this one. Yan, burahin natin. Okay, bura-bura. Bura-bura. Ayan. Ayan. Okay, ayusin ulit natin. Baka tumalsik. Okay, oops, I'm very sorry. Okay. Yan. Ayos pa rin naman ang aking ano. Yan. Okay. So, ito lang, ang key idea lang dito is that dapat marunong pa rin kayo nung factoring. Pag ano, yan, medyo ano, sasablay tayo pag hindi nyo pa kabisado yung factoring methods. Okay, let's have now number 5 here. Okay. Uloy natin kay number 5. Let's have number 5 here. The equation would be this one. Okay. Sorry ha, tumitingin ako sa ano ko. So, 2x squared plus 9x is equal to 5. Ayan. Okay. On this particular example here, you will notice the right side is not equal to 0. So, the first thing you have to do here is to equate the polynomial um, expression to 0. Okay, so ganun yung idea dito. So meaning, the 5 here should be on the left side. So we will be deducting both sides by 5, or yung pinakamadali na lang na explanation, itra-transpose mo si 5 sa kabilang side, making it 2x squared plus 9x minus 5 is equal to 0. Yan. And then obviously again, your equation here is quadratic in nature, so there would be two values of x. Yan, papasok na ulit yung ano, o kailangan dito lang kabisado nyo yung factoring method. So sa case na to, yan. So yung factoring method dito, yung ganitong klase, yung isa 2x and then the other one would be x. And then you will be thinking of factors of -5, the when you tapos after nyan, then iba na pala to. So after nyan, magta-trial and error ka na if FOIL method mo, yung outer tsaka inner term, i-multiply mo yung outer and inner term, kailangan ang making total ay positive 9. So subok lang tayo, subukan natin. So obviously it is okay, subok tayo. So plus 1, dahil negative yan, ibig sabihin opposite, magkaibang symbols yung kanyang factor. So minus 5. Then, subukan lang natin. I-trial and error natin. So, 2x times negative 5 is negative 10. Tapos, ito na naman ay x. So, negative 10 at saka 1. Yan, negative 10 at saka 1. So, negative 10 plus 1 is negative 9. O, kaya lang kasi positive yung gitna. So, ibig sabihin, baliktad yung symbol natin. Yan, so, ibig sabihin, ito pala supposedly ay minus. Ito ay plus. O, subukan ulit natin. So, 2x 2, yun lang, wag na yung x. 2 times 5 is 10, tapos negative 1, obviously times 1 is negative 1, ayun na. So, 10 minus 1 is 9, positive 9, pasok tayo. So, ibig sabihin, yan na yung factors, okay? And then, you will solve for x separately. So, 2x minus 1 is equal to 0, and x plus 5 is equal to 0. O mas madali kasi i-solve yung x dito, ito na unahin ko, okay? So, x here is equal to negative 5, transposing negative 5 to the other side. Dito naman, medyo ano to pa to. So, 2x is equal to 1. So, we have transposed negative 1 to the other side. And then, dividing both sides by 2. Kasi ngayon, may factor na 2 yung si x. Di natin kailangan yan. So, x is equal to 1/2. Therefore, dito na lang natin isulat. Okay? Your zeros would be 1/2 and negative 5. Unahin mo si negative 5, walang kaso. Unahin mo si 1/2 na isulat, wala ring kaso. Basta nandyan silang dalawa. Okay? And hindi baliktad yung symbol. Obviously. Pag baliktad yung symbol, sa case na to, mali siya. Yan. Okay, that is for number 5. Okay. Quadratic, madali. At saka kapag linear, obviously, napakadaling isolve. Quadratic, yan, kailangan yung factoring methods nung grade 8 na inaral ninyo, kabisado nyo pa rin dapat siya. Okay? How about this one? Yan, buka-buka tayo. Buka-buka. Bukahin ng negative 5 sa paligid. Ang itira lang ay yung positivity sa buhay ninyo. Yan, lahat ng negative, bukahin. Diba? Ayos ba? Okay. Okay. So, this time, let's have now this. Yan. Ready na ba? Okay, let's have now number 6 here. Yan. Let's have for number 6. So, for number 6, let's have here. So, x cubed plus 2x squared is equal to x plus 2. Ayan. Again, obviously, your polynomial equation here is not being equated to 0. So, ibig sabihin, lahat ng mga terms na nasa right side, ililipat mo sa left side. Kailangan kasi magkakasama sila. Ang right side, ang matitira, 0 lang. So, gawin natin. So, we have now x cubed plus 2x squared. Now, transposing x to the other side, it becomes minus x. Transposing 2 to the other side, it becomes negative 2 is equal to 0. Ayan. Okay, and then from there, you will notice right now that your equation here has a degree of 3. Linawin ko lang yung sulat na 3 dito. Burahin ko lang ng konti. Linawin lang natin yung sulat. 3. So, it means that we're looking right now for 3 zeros or 3 values of x. So, ang ibig sabihin yan, ang factors ng equation na to or ay tatlo. Tatlo ang value ng x niya. Sir, paano po yan? Hindi siya factorable by any method. Ayan, naalala nyo ba si remainder theorem at saka si factor theorem? Gagawin natin siya. Okay. So, ibig sabihin, okay. So, susubok muna tayo ng, So, susubok muna tayo ng mga factors. So, yan. So, ano muna tayo. So, ibig sabihin, mag-remainder theorem muna tayo. O, subukan natin kung ang remainder, okay. So, kung ang So, susubok muna tayo ng mga factors. Okay? Yan. Magre-remainder theorem tayo, ibig sabihin. Yun ang ibig sabihin niya. Okay. So, subok muna tayo. So, x minus 1. So, it means that your x here is equal to 1. If ever yan yung 0 niya. So, subukan natin. So, yan. R of 1 is equal to, okay. So, 1 cube plus 2 times 1 squared minus 1 minus 2. Subukan natin kung tama siya ha. 1 cube obviously is 1 plus 2, 1. Diretsoin na natin to. Madali lang naman to. 1 squared is 1 times 2 is 2 minus 1 minus 2. Ayan, obvious na yan. 1 plus 2. Ayan, pagkakapartner lang naman yan. 1 minus 1, 0. 2 minus 2, 0 din. Gusto nyo, pahirapan nyo. 1 plus 2, 3. Negative 1 minus 2 is negative 3. So, 3 minus 3, ibig sabihin yan. So, lalabas 0. So, confirmed na si negative 1 ay isa sa mga factors. Automatically yun. So, tapos, yan. So, paano mo hahanapin yung ibang factors? Meron ka ng isa. Magsi-synthetic division tayo ngayon. Okay? So, synthetic division. Synthetic na lang para mas madali. Although, may long method naman ito. So, 1, 2, negative 1, negative 2. So, wala namang may kulang kasi dire-diretso naman. 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. Tapos, sa left side, ang ilalagay mo ay 1. Kasi nga yan yung isa sa mga zeros na niya. So, tapos, synthetic na tayo. So, bring down 1. 1 times 1. 1 times 1 is 1. Tapos, add natin. 2 plus 1 is 3. Tapos, multiply. 3 times 1 is 3. Tapos, add natin. Negative 1 plus 3 is 2. Tapos, multiply ulit. 2 times 1 is 2. Tapos, negative 2 plus 2, okay, 0. Obviously, kailangan mag-0 to, yung remainder dito. Pag di yan nag-0, ibig sabihin, mali yung naging remainder, mali yung pagkuha mo ng remainder theorem dito. Kasi nga, dapat supposedly 0 yan. Yan yun. Okay, yan. So, ibig sabihin, one of the factors of this polynomial would be x minus 1. And when you take this out, so, ibig sabihin ngayon, magiging ganito siya. So, ibig sabihin ngayon, ito, from here, so that would be x squared, plus 3x plus 2 times the quantity x minus 1 is equal to 0. Bakit ko dinagdag yung x minus 1 na yan? Ibig nang sabihin nito, ito na yung isa sa mga factors nitong polynomial na to. Ito. Yan, ito na yung isa. Take note, ang hinahanap natin, tatlo. So, ibig sabihin, ito, ayun. So, here, this is quadratic in nature. So, ibig sabihin ngayon, okay. So, ibig sabihin ngayon, may dalawa pang factors tayong hinahanap. Burahin na natin tong ginawa natin sa remainder theorem kasi wala naman tayong naging problema. Ayan. Yan. Okay, yan. Gulo lang. Sorry. So, ibig sabihin ngayon, okay. So, dito naman, hindi na natin to isi-synthetic division kasi ito naman ay factorable na. Okay. Doon sa grade 8 yung naging lesson. So, the factors of this would be, okay, so, x, okay, tapos dalawang x pa ulit. Okay, idagdag natin yung So, x minus 1 is equal to 0. Sorry, hindi nakasya. Yan. So, factors of 2 that when you add, the total would be 3. Obviously, wala naman iba pang factors si 2 kundi 2 at saka 1. So, sorry. Hindi ko nalagyan ng x. So, x plus 1 is equal to 0. So, the factors, the complete factors of x cubed plus 2x minus 2 is x plus 2 times the quantity x plus 1 times the quantity x minus 1. So, kompleto na tayo. Ayan. And then, parang opposite symbols lang nito. So, yun na yun. So, therefore, the values of your x's would be equal to, okay, equating this by 0, tapos itatranspose mo sa kabilang side so that would be negative 2, negative 1, and, okay, 1. Kasi x minus 1, pag transpose mo sa kabilang side, magiging positive 1 siya. Ito na yun. Yan. Then, obviously, yan. So, ang checking yan, hindi ko na ipapakita, is, kailangan, i-substitute mo yung value, nung nakuha mong value ng x doon sa equation. Kailangan, mag-equate siya kay 0. So, yun yung idea dyan. Okay, kapag ang degree na ng iyong polynomial equation is higher than 2, ibig sabihin, hindi na siya, so, hindi na siya linear, hindi na rin siya quadratic. Mas mataas na siya na degree. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ibig sabihin yan, to get the factors, you must do first the factor and the remainder theorem. Then eventually, you will be doing synthetic division. Kasi nga, mo siya. Hinihimay-himay mo yung kanyang mga factors. Unti-unti mo. Now, may shortcut pa ba doon? Wala na. As far as I know, yun na yung pinaka mabilis niyang paraan. And then eventually, pagdating naman sa dulo niyan, magiging quadratic na yung matitira. Yun. Magfa-factoring ka na lang doon to get the other two factors. So, yan. So, that ends our lesson. So, sana makatulong to sa pagsagot ng inyong learning activity sheets. Have a good day, everyone. And then, let me just remind you, malapit nang matapos ang first reading. Please, yung mga requirements na pinapapasa, kumpletuhin nyo na. Okay? Para ayos tayong lahat pagdating ng Christmas break. So, Merry Christmas na rin sa inyo lahat.